now as we open up the best of 5 here in our second LPL Summer semi-final. Playoffs have delivered thus far for Oscar, and that's for sure. And Xiaogu and IG are going to see who gets the date with LGD in the finals and who gets to play EDG for the 3rd, 4th place. No matter what happens, it's going to be tough.
And again, Xiaogu had the higher seeding, but only by 1 placement. Invictus Gaming did come in 3rd, Xiaogu into that 2nd spot. But they have not performed well in a best of 5 as TCT is caught out.
Yep, problems there as the stun already in. And that's good damage down for IG.
That said, it won't mean much for him. Didn't burn any summoners. He's going to go ahead and back.
And now Swift is like, all right, I can do this too, Kakao. This rookie joins in just to kick them out of the jungle. But Swift going to put some traps down, try and get a little bit of vision as he's going to recall for some health as well.
Curious what other vision either team's are going to acquire. We do see Kid kind of poking his head onto the ramp, but no, it's going to be pretty much standard 5-point and looks like standard lanes from both teams.
And this is interesting because I guess we've just watched LGD and we're so used to lane swaps all over the place. But these two teams in particular feel like they're much more comfortable in the standard setup. Doinby does get a nice ward down. Rookie's going to get some poke down as a result, but I'm curious, especially about your thoughts on the 2v2 matchup. Because remember, Kid picked this Trist into the Kog'Maw, and Kog'Maw's been on an absolute tear in playoffs.
Well, Kog'Maw really doesn't get his strength into lane now, naturally because his W has no mana cost. It helps for whittling down opponents, but he doesn't have nearly the control over the creep wave that Tristana will have with the explosive shot. So typically, Kog has to wait until level 6, where power will start swinging back to him. But we do have a bit of a counterplay on this red buff.
Quite the bait here as Xiaogu have started the Crocs. Flash forward, finds Kakao. Little too aggressive. The buff does go over, and Kakao will body slam his way to safety. Now Swift going to try and chase them down, but I cannot believe IG got away with that.
Really brilliant play from Kakao. He doesn't even have to burn his flash there. In fact, he gets 2 summoners off of Alistar and gets the red buff.
Been tagged by a trap, and the blue buff is watered, but Kakao, knowing all this, is going to do his wolves. Really clever pathing from IG.
And this is something that I really like about standard lane matchups, is it means that all of the pressure is on the jungler to impact the maps versus the macro map movements. And a good Swift to Kakao, as Swift is now trying to make it pay.
Kakao's only level 2. Swift needs to land the spear. Doesn't quite get there, but he's going to take the wolf.
But this is what standard lanes does. It's a jungle versus jungle matchup. You have Swift, you have Kakao. They're both incredibly strong. Let them go at it.
And they are going at it so far as Kakao is going to back away to his Raptors. Swift is going to take his blue buff, so is not intent on getting 3 buffed here, although might still. We'll see how their blue buff goes on the other side, but at the very least, Kakao is having some trouble there with no health there.
He'll have to back after this.
Probably be safe enough.
Is he going to die?
Hope not. That'll be real awkward for Kakao. No, he'll be fine. Just manages to get it, but doesn't get level 3. Swift getting blue, that's going to run straight to his, you have to think.
Yeah, you're right. More importantly, it means that Swift will not get 3 buff and possibly might look for a gank on Rookie here in the mid lane. Nope, just going to go ahead and go around.
Yeah, checked it out, but instead decides to get in and amongst the Raptor camp, and then I'll go back over to his side of the jungle. So lots of early aggression here. Kakao with a nice creative steal with a bit of help from his duo lane. But as it all stands, Swift is going to make sure he gets his buffs, and we'll be about even here in 4 minutes.
But this is what I was talking about in the 2v2 lane matchup. The fact that Tristana has more tools to impact and control the minion wave with the explosive shot gets the push and the level advantage lead on TNT and TCT. So at least until Kog'Maw gets level 6 and he gets his sit and spit, Kid and Kitty should be perfectly fine down this lane.
See Doinby just farming it up. Actually doing nicely against Rookie, who's making sure to respect the range of Victor there, who does good damage with his lasers. Top lane as well, Zatai actually forced back from an early V teleport to get his second Doran's ring. He's going to go back and do pretty much the exact same thing. So all square back in the top lane as well.
It's going to be a wet noodle fight for majority of this top lane. Zatai.
Yep.
My favorite player. No. Nautilus top has more control of the creep wave than the rip side, so we'll see if he tries to abuse that, if he's fine just to let the creep wave center and continue to farm this one out. Again, typically Zatai is the most proactive member on the map, even when he's on tanks like Maokai or Trundle. See if he does the same thing on Nautilus as we actually see Swift keeping his head up there.
Yeah, like what Swift is doing. We'll get spotted by a ward here, and Zatai fairly tanky. Going to be a tricky gank. He does land some damage, but going to hook away to his turret, and Swift, that's about all he had in him for that gank, because Doinby low on mana, going to get chunked out by Rookie.
How this matchup works is Azir typically has control of it in the early phase just because he's going to be able to abuse with the Sand Soldiers and the auto attack range there. It starts to shift as soon as Victor makes his initial back, upgrades the Hex Core, and then gets enough levels where he can start re-clearing the wave and hold Azir down. But if Rookie can get a good lead in levels probably 1 through 8, Azir can take control of this thing.
Rookie right now is actually going back So he'll get an item, which is nice. Pindish Codex actually fixed up, but falls slightly behind NCS as he walks back to his lane. Doinby, though, just trying to get all these creeps, has to last hit them all with his auto attack. So it'll take a while, but he'll get there eventually, and then probably go back and get the Hex God upgrade you described.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's important here is just the back timing for both these mid laners, but Victor is just so cost efficient in his early itemization, spending that 1,000 gold, getting the evolution point, just the immediate power that it gives, versus Azir having to wait for his completed initial item.
And there it is. Doinby going to pick up some wallets, get that Hex God upgrade, and get a biscuit for himself as bottom lane now. Swift peeking his head around for a gank, is going to go Runeglaive by the looks of things. Not surprising at all. Probably expecting close to a full carry build here from Swift.
Yeah, he likes to do the Runeglaive into either a Roa or sometimes a delayed and late tier. It's a very carry-oriented middle-y build, trying to chunk out and do massive damage with those spears. And this is what we talked about, in the standard lane phase. This is Cacao versus Swift.
Yep, and right now you've seen the battle back and forth. Swift with a slightly faster clear time. He's ahead on creeps by a couple, but all quiet now, and no first blood just yet for either side. So we've had the first initial backs. The top laners are still fighting it out. No teleports up just yet. We're going to be up to first blue buff soon as well. So Zombie going to try and make a fight of it, but like you said already, lots of wet noodles.
And we have very similar team comps from across Xiaohu and Invictus Gaming. Again, IG, more of a chameleon of the LPL. They have been shown more of a recent preference for team fighting, is again Swift peeking his head into Cacao's jungle. The only real difference between these comps, because they're both about creating space for their AD carry, is actually Swift's role versus Cacao's role. But
ooh, good
TNT
combo there from
in.
TCT. Kid's actually flushed out. He's going to get tagged by a spear. Swift will dive in, and that's a good first blood for Cogmore, as now Kitty's going to get chased down as well. He will live, but his AD carry is not so lucky.
And you have to suspect this from Xiaohu's bot lane, but more importantly, IG's bot lane is so low pressure, so passive. Cacao really doesn't spend a lot of time down here, so just getting a free and clean gank.
And that's great for Swift, and like you said, passive certainly for Kid and Kitties. Not to say that they are bad players by any stretch, but there's more of that low econ style. They like to farm up and fight in the mid game.
They don't eat up the resources for Invictus. It's mostly about, again, Cacao bouncing between Zatai and Rookie in particular.
Well, Swift as a result does get a kill down there, and a Sheen will now be up for Cogmore. TNT can continue some of that pressure as we and Zatai having another battle. That cannon creep's probably doing more damage than the Nautilus.
But again, it just goes back to the primary difference between these two comps. They're all about their AD carries, creating space. You have secondary damage threats in the mid lane between Victor and Azir. But Nidalee being a carry versus Gragas being a disengage in another part of that front line. Swift needs to get the snowball going if this pick is going to matter late.
Well, he did get the first part of the snowball, so good to get an assist there. He's got his Sheen up now as well, so can get even more aggressive. You see Braum actually clearing wards out from the blue. Smart stuff there from Kitty. Probably expecting that to be a point of contention. As you can see, we've got people roaming over there already.
Second rotation, especially with bot lane having that kill advantage and transferring it to the Sheen. I think they're going to try to invade this with their power spike.
Kitty's barely misses getting speared to the face there. Does clear the wards as well, but Kitties will go back with his sights then and put another down.
Yeah, problem is the fact that Rookie has complete control of the mid lane right now because Doinby doesn't have a lot of mana, which is why you see the pings on the mid lane. So Swift and Kitties are going to go ahead and pull, Swift and TCT are going to go ahead and pull off of this blue buff because Azir is beating Victor.
Yep, you can see now Azir will go and get the blue buff instead. So a smart play there from both sides, just sort of push and pull as Rookie does get himself the blue. But of course Doinby's going to have his up soon. Actually going to go back first, get a bit more mana, get some items going. And again, we'll reset. It's just that first blood in the bottom lane, but if Nidalee can get any more work done, look for Swift to really take over the mid game here.
A lot of kill pressure now on the bottom side of the map, especially because TNT has his ultimate available. Again, this is when we start to see the transition to Kog'Maw taking power.
TNT looking good.
Good, though, on the top side of the map. The Twisted Advance will give him a free spear, as long as there's no creeps blocking it.
Sure is enough damage, but he can give it a go. There's Vegan to line things up. Creep sort of in the way there. Swift knows that he has to be careful when he leaps back in. The ulti's out there as well. Good flash and hook there from Zatai. But Swift is going to follow in. The spear will miss, and that's going to be all she wrote.
going to say if that Spirit connected, they possibly could have looked for a dive with the Dredge line down, but good disengage from Zatai.
Swift was going in if that spear landed. Don't even worry about that.
And it's just the power of Maokai and how great he is to gank for, especially when you have a skill shot-based jungler like Lisa and like Nidalee, you know, giving that Twisted Advance the free immobile target to hit. Unfortunately, Hero Creep is standing in the way.
That creep doing work there, but Zatai burns his summoners, gets out, and Doinby's going to get his blue buff now as well. So Swift at least gets the pressure down he wants, not too upset by all that's happening here. We check back in with the mid laners, they'll battle with their blue buffs. We've got the second Hex Core upgrade for Doinby, so we're going to have 2 evolution points now. And Rookie doing something that we've seen a lot of recently on Azir, seems to be rushing that Nash's Tooth.
Suspect then that he's also going to look for the Rylai's fairly early rotation into his build, just because it gives you that 40% slow on the Sand Soldier auto attack. You can't get away from that.
No, I mean, Azir's had a number of changes moving into this patch, but that Rylai's change sort of kept him where he was as far as power goes. Still a really good pick.
And it just works so well with their composition, again, creating time, creating space for their hyper-carrying Tristana to just have an elongated team fight. But here we go. Doinby now level 8, level 9, able to freely clear out the back creep wave with his laser. So this is when Victor starts to get power back in the lane.
You can see Xiaogu actually hitting some decent items on the other sides as well. We've got Righteous Glory completed nice and early for V before Boots, so those teleports going to be nice and high impact. And Runeglaive done for Nidalee as Swift continues to try and find pressure. But Cacao found his way into the bottom lane now.
Does have Cask available, so he could attempt to force TNT or TCT off of the tower. That said, with Alistar level 6, this is still a risk gank.
Going to go in for it. Oh, the flash almost tagged him. TNT's going to get knocked up by Kitty's. Great knock up there from TCT. Kitty's going to get headbutted towards the tower as well as V. He will dive his way down. Zatai's going to join in as well, and TNT, who will get the first kill, but a hook from Zatai's going to be answered by the heal. They're still chasing him in. They'll get the dive down. Kog'Maw passive is actually going to be quite big here as Zatai eats a good amount of damage. TCT, another follow-up headbutt pulverized combo, and as he is running in, but the flash is out. Doinby's going to flash for the next kill. And Rookie has to run away as Xiaogu win 3 for 1. Now Swift lands the spear. He's going to look for the dive. Doinby's going to start things up. The heal's down there as well. But Swift's happy to chase. He does so much damage. The ult there from Rookie might be enough. Swift will fall and Rookie gets the outplay.
Okay, Rookie somewhat brings that back for Invictus in the end, but Xiaogu still well and ahead after all is said and done. A fantastic flash from TNT to dodge the initial cask.
The mid lane is there. Doinby looking a little open mouth after that. Didn't expect Swift to get outplayed by Rookie, but Rookie, ever the mid laner.
This is why you don't let him have Azir, but here's the replay. Now what I want you to show, that flash from TNT to make sure that he's not immediately pushed back into danger. He will eventually go down, but not without putting so much damage. Kitty's, like you said, had a fantastic pulverize, pushes 2 targets back into the tower over the course of this fight. And here we go, TNT falling down, but the cavalry has already arrived. Xiaogu making the better collapses. Doinby gets here first.
Yep, and that's big. Doinby managing to race his way in. Flashes everywhere, and the Rookie right towards the end, making it stylish. As Swift, you can see the damage he's started to do already.
And this is about trying to appropriate the tower aggro. Unfortunately for Doinby, he's not able to connect on the laser. Fantastic Emperor's Divide and Flash.
I only just noticed that V flashed straight into the wall as well. Couldn't get under it with his W, couldn't get in range. And it meant that kill they tried to lock down just led to Swift's death instead. But Xiaogu still 2,000 gold up. Kog'Maw Trinity Force, need to see Large Rod, and a decent amount of items on the top side as well. In fact, Sightstone looking at now.
This is the most important aspect after it's all said and done. 5 kills on the board. Kog'Maw is 2, 1, and 3, 100% kill participation, having the completed Trinity Force at 14 minutes in the game. That is a massive power spike, and that means that Xiaogu are guaranteed to drag it.
More than happy to take this out. Swift neutral damage is pretty high. He's going to be comfortably taking that. It's actually TCT that gets the last hit because Swift is saving his smite.
Wants to punish the cow as much as possible. It looks like we will have a blue contest, Doinby, in a much healthier place with the upgraded Hex Core as well as that needlessly large rod in his back pocket.
Most importantly, like last time, actually has a mana pool this time.
Yep.
Going to be able to contest in, and Swift more than happy to just force a fight here. Doinby's in range as well. Does have his Chaos Storm ready. You have to be careful. They're getting 5-man or 4-man.
Just the power of Kog'Maw right now. You know, Xiaogu recognizing that TNT is so much stronger than Kid, though Kid did manage to get his back in there and have the Blade of the Rune King.
Like what Swift is doing here, throwing out spears, getting mana back from his Runeglaive. Very cute. But Xiaogu can't find a clean entry here as IG.
They don't need to, though. Just continue to poke and whittle away. Throw Nidalee Spears, like you said, get mana back off the ring wave, put out some lasers.
And now take the drone blue. Oh, Swift does get it. TCT. Pulverize is down as the Chaos Storm's out as well. TCT going to get the first kill onto Kakao T. And almost getting himself stunned up there by Triss plus Braum, but Xiaogu get the blue and get the kill.
Just the power of Victor, and again, Xiaogu understanding the composition when they wanted to approach that fight. Lay down the lasers, lay down the poke before you look for the all-in engage. And unfortunately for IG, not willing to pull the trigger to look for the hard engage or disengage off the blue buff.
Couldn't get it there. And Xiaogu continue to get themselves further and further ahead, almost 3,000 gold ahead now after that little pick up around the blue buff. And Swift, who does currently have a Ruby Crystal, I'm guessing that'll be a side stone. But I'm curious to see how aggressive he goes with his builders. Actually might be looking for another dive instead. Might make a tower instead.
He doesn't necessarily have to go into that full damage mode simply because Doinby and TNT are so healthy and so far ahead of the clock right now that he can afford to be more of a frontline tanky Nidalee.
See where he wants to go as far as directions in the build order are, but being Zatai again, having a fun time. Zatai actually getting decent lead as far as CS goes. Trying to trade some damage in again. Not a whole lot going on here as far as kill potential in the 1v1 top lane matchup, but V again, sitting in the lane. He has 4 kill participations out of 6. He's getting farm. This is exactly where V wants to be.
Yeah, and it's not where Zatai wants to be. We talked about how Zatai is the most proactive member on Invictus Gaming's map. He always tries to look for the outplay and the kill potential. So picks like Aurelia, picks like Trundle, they do wonders for him because he wants to be aggressive. He wants to fight. Not that he can't play the tanks, but it just doesn't fit in his MO. And I think, frankly, this draft phase really punished IG.
By the looks of things, yes, as Doinby does not get knocked back there. Pops his Ghost as well, and Kakao, realizing 1v1 versus Victor, doesn't really fancy it. Swift is going to sweep in, though, as well. Just trying to donate blue buff and saw the commotion. A little back away here. Just, again, 2v2 in the mid lane. Just a couple of blows traded here and there.
A little bit scary, though. Doinby really didn't have the mana pool necessary should everyone pull the trigger on that. But they're going to go ahead and give the 101 Victor some respect and just back away.
And I think so. I think it's a smart choice. We saw what happened around the blue buff. As speaking of, TCT roams back in to keep this jungle warded. The amount of wards that have been in this bottom side jungle in particular, really playing, again, around this Nidalee pick from Xiaogu.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, keeping that deep vision down, tracking where Kakao is, and meeting him at every corner. I mean, we've had, 2 blue buff contests, so both rotations expect that to go down for a third if Xiaogu continue to hold on to their lead, because they're excellent at understanding when they're ahead and pressing that in.
Like you mentioned before, same thing in the bottom side for that exact reason. TNT knows he's much stronger than Kid with that Trinity Force. He's able to just bully him off the lane with TCT. Just playing bodyguard right now, right up in front, knowing that if they make a misstep, they can get a kill, and Kakao's going to wander down as the tower does fall.
I was going to say, meanwhile, Kakao seeking to the back of the lane, but there's no reason for them to continue forward and chase now. Kog'Maw does have the range advantage over Trishana for now. Naturally, she gets more levels. That will start to even itself out.
But 25 or 30 CS ahead for TNT means he's in a happy place on Kog'Maw. And like we've said, he's gone to a lot more of these scaling carries. It's still the same sort of player, can play low econ, even on the likes of Kog'Maw and Vayne, but he's gotten a bit more attention for his team, just, I guess, based on shifts in the metagame, and it's still benefiting him. He can play with resources as well.
Well, you always have to think that the patches are going to be like an ecosystem, and I think the biggest thing was control mages were so strong, and just because Kog'Maw and Vayne in particular, although hold on, TCT may be caught out.
Pops his ulti, Kakao's going to run in as well. The stun is there, does get it, and the ulti's going to wear off soon. TCT trying to buy some time. He kites his way in, but Zatai gets a great hook after porting down. The flash is out, but it's not enough as Doinby going straight in, gets Kid instantly with his ultimate, as Rookie's going to ride in now as well. Kakao going to alley-oop there onto Doinby as TNT is dishing out the herd. But he's now kind of good out in the front line. Swift, though, going to try and ravage Kakao as he jumps over the Azir wall. And the flash is in there again. TNT will flash out from the hook. So aggressive there with the Summoner Spell. So Kakao's going to chase in. They're trying to get him dead, but they can't get it. And Xiaogu get the ace.
An ace for 2, and that's the difference between these two compositions. They're both team fight. They both excel in small, tight quarters with the train. The AoE from Azir, the AoE from Victor. But Nidalee, Swift's Nidalee versus Cacao Gragas. Just the difference in damage. Swift getting to the back of the fight. So this, honestly, this looks great initially for IG. They get the jump on the team fight. They're able to make a pick. That said, TCT eats up so much with the Unbreakable Will there, the Alistar ult. As soon as I see Doinby come down, I'm like, oh no, this is a choke point. This is Victor. Xiaogu love to fight around this because it stacks Victor's AoE so well. But here comes Swift to change everything. Gets into the backline, annihilates Victor, and just the difference between Nidalee and Gragas, because he got the early kills, because he got the snowball, he has the power to do this. Tags TNT with the heal to save his life, and cleans up the back half of that fight.
And that's Swift. Great map, great situational awareness. Always looking to try and carry in a great fight there for Xiaogu overall. He's got Rod of Ages. It wasn't a sidestone, excuse me. It's just the roll build instead. As they steal blue once more. I know, I got tricked.
So did I. I was like, you know, he could probably go more utility-oriented because Kog'Maw and Victor are so far. He's like, what? Come on, I'm Swift.
Exactly. And that's how he plays here. Because you are going to get Dragon number 2 out for Xiaogu. Nidalee ravaging through this objective. As Swift will take it out again, saving his smite. Might have had a second charge up there after the blue steal, which they also got. And all of a sudden, Xiaogu find themselves significantly far ahead to start this game off. They're what? 7,500 gold up. They
completely own and did this game in jungle right now. So what they're doing is it's about siege. So picking up this little Kog'Maw, moving into the mid lane, although Swift is looking to assassinate.
Tags Rookie there with a spear. Rookie's like, I don't really fancy what's going on here. We talk about Poke Champions versus Zir. In a small way, Swift is fulfilling that role.
Nidalee loves doing this, standing out to Fog of War, throwing spears from the side, fish in a barrel.
So sick of this game as TNT and TCT with all that poke will combine and take out the outer mid lane turret.
Likewise, there is a pressure point built up onto the bottom side, but instead of prioritizing the tower, they're going to go ahead and try to siege up what they assume is a red buff. It is not. It is an empty pit of sadness and dreams.
Still objectives to be taken here as Doinby is pushing out bottom side as well. Got himself a Zhonya's Hourglass all completed. Now going to go back home as Swift continues to put this jungle on farm.
And this is why Nidalee is such a massive pick for Swift. Not only does it fit his MO of wanting to be that carry oriented.
Kick goodbye. Tried to 1v1 Victor, who's hiding in a brush. Not a good plan.
That's just upsetting.
Maybe for IG. So Doinby is very happy.
No, Swift, carry-oriented jungler, but more importantly, the mobility and the speed that Nidalee offers him to get around the map and to impact every single lane almost simultaneously.
Yeah, and we've seen that time and time again. His team is supporting him in their pushes as Xiaogu straight to the Baron. Never mind Doinby, who's just drawing attention.
But this makes perfect sense. You just had the completed Blade of Ruin King on TNT. Likewise, the Primal Surge and the Shred that Nidalee's going to offer and then augment onto this little Kog'Maw. IG posturing to fight for it, though.
Yeah, they get a good ward down. Nice intuition there from Invictus Gaming. And the get Xiaogu off the Baron. It was a good attempt, like you mentioned, but will not be taken this time.
IG may not have a defined style of League of Legends, but they will always fight you on the Baron pit.
Yeah, certainly true.
It's the one consistent thing about them.
He's getting stronger as well. He's got his Nashes. He's got just about anything, honestly, from those two items. But a needlessly large rod and the Ant Tome ready to build out whichever next item he fancies, whether that's Rylai's or Zhonya's or Death Cap. If I missed one, I'm sorry. But lots of options there.
Just start listing off all of the 80 items.
Oh, not anymore.
Since the ingredients were changed.
No. It's so many.
Okay. At this point in the game, with Dragon not there again, Xiaogu are in siege mode. The most important objective will be that mid-tier tower, just because it will grant them the most passive vision and map control. That said, the bottom-tier tower is actually fairly low because Doinby was whittling it down earlier. And I believe Dragon's probably, I feel like it's going to be like 2 minutes, 30 seconds that we're about to see that timer pop up. So, Kitty's placing and refreshing his deep vision and Victus Game's blue side.
Ooh, 50 Cal. Get a battle once again. TCT is also here for the assist, but Rookie will threaten. They'll move their way out.
Yep.
Cal, he's having trouble.
So set down your deep vision and blue side and create pressure points in mid and bottom. You see Doinby down at the bottom starting to crack that wave. Want to make sure that TNT and Doinby are kept separate so that Victor and Kog'Maw aren't splitting their farm. They're both continuing to get all their gold resources.
Cacao, hello. Looks for the initiation. TCT gets knocked back in with the ulti, pops his as well, just to soak up some of the damage, but there's no real teammates left here. We'll get slowed down again as the tie actually forced out a flash. A great hook on the TNT.
Wow,
V's going to dive in there as well, but he's still alive. TCT in there as well. Swift's going to jump straight into the backside and assassinate Rookie. TCT with a huge knock-up. Zombie there on the choke point. Gets massive damage out there as well to shred down a few more. And Xiaogu still haven't lost a man as IG lose 3.
That was a 4v5 for about 20 minutes until Doinby had to walk from bot all the way up to get involved in the back half of the fight. Didn't even get a chance to move his Chaos Storm over the majority of Invictus Gaming members, but with that, they turn on the Baron.
Straight back to the Baron as well as TCT has been roaring up in a brush from about 100 health. Cacao's going to get caught out. He'll headbutt him away. He actually misses him over the ridge, but he gets more than enough CC to get him away from Baron.
Beautiful posturing from TCT right there. And on this Alistar pick, 1-1-8 out of 15 kills. TCT has been incredible.
Certainly has. And Xiaogu playing well together. We said everyone on the team can be a playmaker, and I think in this game, each one of them have made plays so far in the first 25 minutes of game number 1.
They just won a 4v5. Yeah, Doinby got there at the very end, but he pretty much showed up, dropped his laser, and was like, see ya. Yeah,
and that's all he needed to do, to be perfectly honest. The rest of the team set it up nicely. Even TCT, looking like he was caught out there, turned that around with a nice collapse from the rest of Xiaogu. I guess excluding Doinby. His rookie, he had the Ludens. That was the item he chose. That was one of the ones we missed. But Doinby's going to chase him off the blue buff once again.
I actually really like the early adaptation.
Might have been fighting, but Cacao wants to go back over. Does get pulverized by TCT. Pushes him away to prevent that.
Chaos Storm curves around the side there to continue to chase Rookie. No, I actually really like the adaptation of Rookie to look towards Ludens here, just because he knows he's facing down across from the Baron buff. So it's going to offer him a lot more wave clear and possibly buy Invictus Gaming some much-needed breathing room and time against this siege.
Well, they get a bit more room to IG as TNT betrays his mid laner with red buff, stealing away that blue, but once again, Rookie does not get it. And Xiaogu are not stopping on the siege. That's one of the nice functions of this comp. It actually, especially when they're ahead, comes together very nicely in sieges.
Again, if they're ahead, the beautiful thing about Nidalee is if she has the creep wave on you, naturally she can keep throwing those spears because there's less of your minions in front to block. But if you ever siege onto her, kind of loses her worth.
Certainly does, but Xiaogu have gotten themselves a monumental lead in game number 1. We're approaching 15k as TNT jukes away from that. Going to turn it on to Kid. Kid doesn't really have the damage to go down, but Rookie does barely, and Kid will hop away to safety, but 1v3, TNT almost made that work.
But meanwhile, IG put so many resources top that V does find a free tower in the bottom side.
And now the teleport's coming down as well. Hook does land in, but TCT is going to chase through. V's more than happy to tie them up as TCT is going to look for a pick here. Swift finds a spear into Kitties. They just need to delay them for a little bit longer. Rookie poking from around the side, doing nice damage. Does run in, looks for the ulti, doesn't find it, and Doinby takes him out. Bit of a misstep there from Azirius. Xiaogu are now diving the top lane tower. Cacao gets a huge ulti, but Doinby's going to pop the Zhonya's. Will still fall by the looks of things. Does die to Kid. But Xiaogu is still in a bad situation. Almost made it work.
Again, another 4v5. Kog'Maw wasn't in that fight at all. Still dead. Actually just came back to life. And now Doinby goes down. Kid will pick up the shutdown bonus there. So sigh of relief a bit for Invictus Gaming. We'll see if they can continue to stall this game out long enough to make this Tristana relevant.
And look, yeah, the trades are good here for IG because they're still getting some gold. Xiaogu might be playing a little too aggressively.
But I feel like that's the perfect way to describe Xiaogu, hitting the snowball. Nidalee just encapsulates them so well. That snowball champion, the high mobility, the high aggression.
Surprised TNT's even here, to be honest. That dragon did not stand a chance against Swift, who has himself the Runeglaive, the cooldown boots, a blue elixir, and then, of course, his fully stacked Rod of Ages are almost there with 9 stacks, and a Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Swift is gone full-on Bruiser AP Nidalee.
I actually like the fact that he's still offering his team a bit of a tanky frontline, you know, taking the health off the Rylai's as well as the Rod of Ages, but still being Swift.
Yeah, that's about as, I think it's about as far in that direction as we'll go on this champion. He's like, all right, I've done my job.
Rylai's, that's a defensive item, right?
I have some health items. The rest is up to you, team. And they've been doing a great job as well. Infinity Edge almost completed for TNT. Doinby is massive right now with the Morellonomicon third just for a bit of extra cost-efficient punch. And now TCT is going to go once more as Kid barely jumps himself to safety.
And you have massive CS discrepancies between every single member of Xiaogu, particularly that jungle. 155 to 92. That's incredible because the majority of that is jungle creeps.
Yep, and that's the power of Nidalee once again, especially when Ahead just ravages through the jungle. We've seen Swift pop through about every camp.
And IG, they normally don't lane swap. They're a very standard lane team, but I feel like you have to lane swap against Xiaogu. You can't just give Swift the run to meet you head on head. You have to hide him, protect the jungle, transition to vertical jungle, and even it out and wait until the big team fights. But IG, it's not something that comes naturally to them.
No, and especially in this jungle matchup, I'd agree. I think in other ones, more standard ones perhaps, we can get away with it as they do try going on to Doinby. Zatai gonna look for the initiation, but
nice
a good cast. Huge knockups there as well as they're trying to make it work, but Swift just jumps in. He'll assassinate a few more. Rookie is already dead. Gagal's gonna get locked up, and V and TCT are tanking every tower shot, and Kid, who'll get destroyed by the Kog'Maw. It looks like he died, but he is still up. And it's another race there they get to, but Swift gets himself a triple.
That was best case scenario for Invictus Gaming. That was the best layering of their abilities. They can't ask for anything better, but the gold deficit is just too massive at this point. Xiaogu will surely close this out.
And IG will surrender the game. Xiaogu get themselves close to 20,000 gold up in game number 1. And in just under 30 minutes time, QG's aggression over...
more room to IG as TNT betrays his mid laner with red buff, stealing away that blue, but once again, Rookie does not get it. And Shaggy were not stopping on the siege. That's one of the nice functions of this comp. It actually, especially when they're ahead, comes together very nicely in sieges.
Again, if they're ahead, the beautiful thing about Nidalee is if she has a creep wave on you, naturally she can keep throwing those spears because there's less of your minions in front to block. But if whoever sees onto her, loses her worth.
It really does. But Xiaogu got themselves a monumental lead in game number one. We're approaching 15k as TNT jukes away from that. Gonna turn it on to Kid. Kid doesn't really have the damage to go down, but Rookie does barely, and Kid will hop away to safety. But 1v3, TNT almost made that work.
But meanwhile, IG put so many resources top that he does find a free tower in the bottom side.
And now Teleport's coming down as well. Hook does land in, but TCT is going to chase through. V's more than happy to tie them up as TCT is going to look for a pick here. Swift finds the spear into Giddies. They need to delay them for a little bit longer. Rookie poking from around the side, doing nice damage. Does right in, looks for the ulti, doesn't find it, and Doinby takes him out. Bit of a misstep there from Azir Shagu, and now diving the top lane tower. Cacao gets a huge ulti, but Doinby's going to pop the Zhonya's. Will still fall on the looks of things, does die to Kid. But Shagu is still in a bad situation, almost made it work.
Again, another 4v5. Kog'Maw wasn't in that fight at all. Still dead. Back to life now. Goes down. Kid will pick up the shutdown bonus there. So Sai will leave a bit for him to be standing and see if they can continue to stall this game out long enough to make this Tristana relevant.
And look, yes, the trades are good here for IG. Still getting some goals. Shagu might be playing a little too aggressively.
But I feel like that's the perfect way to describe Xiaoyu. Hitting the snowball. Nidalee just encapsulates them so well. That snowball champion, the high mobility, high aggression.
Surprised TNT is even here, to be honest. That dragon did not stand a chance against Swift, who has himself the Rune Glaive, the cooldown boost, a blue elixir, and then of course his fully stacked Rod Invaders are almost there with 9 stacks, and a Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Swift has gone full on Bruiser 18 middle.
I actually like the fact that he's still offering his team a bit of a tanky frontline to help up the Rylai as well as the Rod of Ages, but still being Swift.
Yeah, it's about as far in that direction as we'll go on this champion. It's like, alright, I've done my job.
Rylai, that's a defensive item, right?
I have some health items. The rest is up to you, team. And they've been doing a great job as well. Infinity Edge almost completed for TNT. Doinby is massive right now with the Morel and Omicron surge just for a bit of extra buff, a bit of fun. And now TCT is going to go once more as Kid barely jumps himself to safety.
And you have massive CS discrepancies between every single member of Xiaoyu, particularly that jungle. 155 to 92. That's incredible because the majority of that is jungle.
Yep, that's the power of Nidalee once again. Especially when Ahead just ravages through the jungle. Kid Swift pop through about every camp.
And IG, they normally don't lane swap, they're very standard lane teams, but I feel like you have to lane swap against Xiaoyu. You can't just give Swift the runs and beat you head on head. You have to hide and protect the jungle, transition to vertical jungle, even it out and wait for the big team fight. But IG, it's not something that comes naturally to them.
No, and especially in this jungle matchup, I'd agree. I think in other ones, more standard ones perhaps, we can get away with it as they do try going on to Doinby's a tie. He'll look for the initiation, but a good cast. Huge knock-ups there as well as they're trying to make it work, but Swift just jumps in. He'll assassinate a few more. Rookie is already dead. Gagal's going to get locked up, and V and TCT are tanking